Hi, we're going to take a look at a new feature we have at Betmix. It's called BetPad. You'll see this on all the single race calculators like today's races, historical races, Mixmaker. You won't see it on the multi-race views. BetPad you'll find under the main screen, and to expand it or contract it, you click that little arrow there, and it drops down. To retract it, you just click it again. And the reason we added BetPad is because there's multiple ways you can handicap a race, and myself included, I look at several different mixes or overall rankings or the PP view, and this is a way for you to kind of keep track of how you've looked at a race and to give you an overall consensus of the things you've looked at. Um, and another neat feature of this is as you can save it and you can come back to the race and see how you handicapped it and what may have worked, what may not have worked, and you can make notes about all those things you do. Um, and probably a feature that everybody's going to really like is if you scratch a horse, and in this race today the 10 is scratched. So if I save this and I click the save button, that's how you save everything with BetPad. Um, Anything that you save here, including scratches, will be saved the next time you return to that race, whether it's later on today, next week, 2 months from now. The scratches will be saved. All your notes will be saved. So let's see how this works. Looking at this race, if you have a mix for this particular race, you might want to start off and select that. And I have a mix for 8.5 on the turf at Saratoga. And so now it's ranked the horses because I've selected that mix up here, and it's got them 2, 9, 7, 4, etc. Now if I want to add those particular rankings to the BetPad, I just click this button here, add current rankings to BetPad, and you see it's popped in the top 4, 2, 9, 7, 4, and it's also automatically made a note about where that came from. So anytime you have you're using a mix and it knows the name of the mix, it'll put that in there for you. And there's some other ways you can add data to this. We'll show you in a second. So let's go down. Let's say you wanted to add the overall rankings down here to the BetPad. Well, this little icon you'll see here, it's the little pencil. Anytime you see that, you can click that icon and it will make those additions to BetPad. So let's go ahead and click that. It says added to BetPad. You can come up here and see that now 4936 have been added. And every time you're adding a new ranking, you're getting a consensus at the bottom. And the way the consensus works, it's just on a simple numbering system. You get 4 points for first, 3 for second, 2 for third, and 1 for fourth. So at this point, with these two different rankings we have here, the consensus is 9423. Let's add another one. We can do one on our own. Let's go to the PP view, and we can look at this race. We know it's 8.5 on the turf, so I'll select. I'll type in the search bar. I'll say 8.5 furlongs turf, and I'll limit the PP view to those particular races. And if you want to see some more information about how to use PP view, you can do that in another tutorial. There's a lot of information there. So let's say we're looking at this and we want to rank these by speed, and it's got the 3, the 1, 4, 5. So let's say I say, all right, I'm just going to look at the top 4 horses on a speed basis who have run 8.5 on the turf. So I'd say 3, 1, 4, 5. I can go back here, and since that's not something that you can do automatically, you can click and drag these horses over. Sometimes it's a little bit easier said than done, but 3, 1, 4, 5, and I'll call that PP view. I can make notes here, and I can say whatever I want, and keep typing, and you could type as much as you want there. And to see what you've typed, if you happen to write quite a bit, you can click the bottom right hand corner of any one of these boxes and expand it, just dragging it up and down. So now I've got that ranking in there, 3, 1, 4, 5, and let's say I want to look at some individual factors. I'll turn on the rankings. I can go over here and say, well, it's a turf race, so let's go down to the pedigree factors, and I like turf pedigree in a turf race, so I'm going to click that button. I think I've actually clicked it twice. I did. So this will give me an example of how to show you how to clear it. So you can just hit the clear button, and then I'll take those off. So now I've got 4 different rankings here, and I've got a consensus rating of 3942. I've got my scratch here, and now I can save, and If I wanted to see that, I go to the Tools menu and click on BetPad Notes, and you can see all the races I've made notes about, and I can go back to that race just clicking here, and I can sort it by, of course, by track, by date, by race number, and when I last saved it. So when I go back to that race, it's all saved. It's right there for me. The scratches are included. No longer have to re-add those every time I open up the race. So this is kind of a handy tool if you're looking at races with multiple different mixes or methods, whatever they may be. This gives you a way to kind of keep track of what you've looked at and give you a look at what's going on here. Now, another, as we showed you earlier, you can look at these, you can create your own, and that's by clicking and dragging the numbers. And once you've clicked and dragged them over, you can rearrange them on the screen too, just by clicking one and moving it and rearranging it however you see fit. And then of course you can clear that out if that's not something that you want to keep there. This is a handy little tool. We're going to be expanding this in the future. We're going to give you some options on actually entering what you bet so that you can keep track of the races you won and the races you lost, and show you a lot of different ways to kind of rank where you've been good and where you've been bad. I think you'll like this feature a lot. I've found in just the last couple of days as I've been playing with it, it really helps out in keeping track of how you're looking at the races and seeing where the differences are, and trying to get a consensus opinion on the different methods that you've used to handicap the race. So again, you get to BetPad and all the single race calculators just by, it's always going to be there. If you want to use it, you just click this arrow, drag that down. If you don't want to use it, you can leave it hidden. Look forward to your feedback, any suggestions you have, any ways that you can see that this may or may not be useful, and how, whatever we can do to improve it. We're always looking for all your great advice, and we wish you all the best of luck. Thanks.